Deadair Hardcore Radio, exploring the world's best hardcore punk and all the various subgenres. For the next 2 hours we will enter a world apart from the rest. The time is now.
Stand to the side, we run the hardcore ride! How can you save me when you can't save yourself? Ready to fight!
Yo, what's up with that? Let's start jamming.
This is for real?
Don't lose my control. Got the grip with my soul. Thumbs up, try to stop. Please up, stay side. My dark control. That's that war. I'm betrayed. It is not too late. Attention to patriots on that word. Shows the shoulders. They go above. They will. Got the rage with my soul. Numbers up, strength is not. Pity's up, stay slack. My dark control. Death and war are betrayed. Realistically, it's not too late. Junction to patriots on the wall. Shows that realistic on the conflict realm. Got the grace with the final soul. Comes up, strength is not. Pity's on, stay slack. My dark control.
Check, episode 79 of Deadair, 2 hours of hardcore radio underway. Trev out here in Tacoma, Washington, the 253, if anyone cares. It's another episode where I'm going to be trying to power through it. I'm doing this episode way later than I was wanting to, because I showed up the night before to get this episode ready and do stuff, and I had no idea that the internet was out, even though I asked ahead of time. I was like, oh, is it cool if I come here? And I'm so bad at asking like ahead of time. Like when I mean ahead of time, I mean like I asked an hour. So in that time frame, I feel like somebody should have known that the internet was out. So I get there and I had to figure out how to get my interview rescheduled. One of the dudes from the station is just like in here just plugging and unplugging shit, trying to figure something, and I'm just like, I need to fucking get out of here. I was already not having a good day because I was having some issues at the house. Some of them were my fault, to be fair, but I think it was just not a good day. So I came here, and on top of that, one of my coworkers that I've known for a long time, but we've only known each other professionally in the way that we've seen each other, we know of each other. And in the place that I work, we know a lot of people know of one another, but don't know each other. We know little things about each other, not a whole lot. And I got this call from a coworker saying that I missed work and that I need to come in. And that's just at the same time I'm at the studio and everything's fucking falling apart in here. and I'm just freaking out. And I was like, fuck, I guess I'm going to go to work then. And then it's like, oh, just kidding. I'm like, ooh. I was seeing red for the rest of the night. I just kind of gave up. Also, it was just an emotional day with stuff at the house, and just not to get too much into it, it just was a draining fucking day. Yesterday, which is the day before I recorded this, and so I'm going to do my best to get through this episode. It's one of those. I recorded an interview with Cameron from Jocko, an awesome band on Dog Ear Records. If you haven't heard of them, you should definitely check out their new record, Expression. I mean, their latest record, not new. They'll have new music soon, but their record Expression came out a little bit right before the turn of 2019, so it's been about a year and a half since that came out, but you should definitely check it out if you haven't already. So, also, I did my best with the levels on it. That was what was rough, because this is one of the very few days at the studio where, like, most of the week is pretty much wide open for me to just go in currently. But this is like the one day out of the week where there is someone who was literally in here at the exact time frame that I needed to do the damn interview. So I'm like, and I've been trying to avoid doing like stuff in my apartment because I need to soundproof it, get some better stuff going on. My girlfriend did get me equipment for the holidays, and I have yet to get that working because I have a million things going on in my head, and I have to go down the list of things that I have to get done. Then it's so much. I have a lot to get done. So now that I'm done complaining, I guess we can talk about music. Like I said, we're gonna talk to Jocko. I did my best with the levels. You'll be able to hear it. That's one thing. I just there's a little bit of ups and downs. I tried to smooth it out, and it's at times the average listener might not even care, but I just was. It was a struggle a little bit. Anyway, music. Unfortunately, we had to start off with another tribute this episode. Last week was Vinny Value. We did Elijah from Black Breath a few weeks back, and this week Reed Mullen from Corrosion of Conformity, who drummed in the band, has passed away at 53. This band was this was a band that I went backwards with. There's a few of them into their earlier punk material, because I was aware of their more rock influenced stuff that I was shown when I was younger. I had a list. I used to have a coworker who had a list of things that I used to have some friends who made lists for me and showed me stuff, and this was one of the bands on that list. And I never knew that if you went back farther that there was punk material, though at the time of me being a little bit younger, I might not have been receptive to it right off the bat. So there lies the diving into punk material. We played a song off the very first studio album, Eye for an Eye, which was released in 1984, recorded in 1983. And we played Minds Are Controlled, which is the second track off the record. If you haven't checked out this band and you love the metal and punk hybrid shit, you should get on it. So a lot of the deaths, yeah, there's a lot of deaths in music, specifically like metal and hardcore lately, which is a big bummer. So hearts go out to everyone who's, lost idols, lost people that they care about, influences, and may they their legacies live on through their music. We're going to skip any talk about Kobe Bryant because I'm just not getting into it on this episode. Maybe on another one when I have someone to do some back and forth with, which is not this episode. So we're going to get to our interview in just a little bit. But this band, Jocko's from Nebraska, so thought it would be cool to play another Omaha, Nebraska band who we kind of talked about and made me think about in the interview, which you will hear. We're going to play some new music from Bib. They have a record coming out, a 9-song single-side LP titled Deluxe on February 21st on Popwig Records. I haven't thought about this band too much since I saw them play with, I think, Expire at Real Art, now about almost 3 years ago. It's pretty cool, but I don't know, I might have been in a different mode of music listening at that point. Ending my time at KGRG, I was starting to get extremely burnt out of all music, and I think that was about the time I took a somewhat of a break because I was holding together the music department at the radio station, the other radio station, as well as trying to do my own. So like I was hearing songs left and right and things weren't always landing for me. So now that I'm listening to a little bit less and I'm able to break up my listening habits, I might have to re-listen to some more Bib. We're gonna play The Fool. I don't know what's not to like. It's starts out really, really slow, gets into some fast parts. Everything is kind of, all levels are maxed out in the right ways for the instruments, and it just fucking, the production just sounds good for what they're trying to do. So we're gonna play The Fool by Bib, and we'll be right back. You'll listen to Deadair, Terrors of Hardcore Radio.
What's up, motherfuckers? This is Deadair Moshbot telling you to check out the brand new Deadair website now. Go to deadairhardcoreradio.com for all podcasted shows as well as news, reviews, and content you can't get anywhere else. Go now or feel the wrath of my cold, hard robotic leg spin kicking you straight in the face.
Raise your glass in the air. A toast for those no longer here. Let's drink and show them that we care. Raise your glass. Hey, hey, hey. Raise your glass in the air. A toast to those no longer here. Let's drink and show them that we care. Raise your glass. A sip to good times and the bad. All the shit we wish we never did. All the things we never had. Raise your glass. Hey, hey, hey. Raise your glass. Let's drink and reminisce about the ones we miss, the ones who no longer here. Together we stand with the fear. Raise your glass. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Raise your glass in the air. A toast to those no longer here. Let's drink and show them that we care. Raise your glass. A sip to good times and the bad. All the shit we wish we never did. All the things we never had. Raise your glass. Hey, hey, hey. Raise your glass. Let's drink and reminisce about the ones we miss, the ones who no longer here. Together we stand with the fear. Raise your glass. Let's fight and fall and drink 1,000 beers. We have no fear. We'll never forget you. We'll always remember. Raise your glass. Raise a glass.
All right, we're back. You just heard Raise a Glass from Kings Never Die. We had Dan from the band talk about Dog Eat Dog, Monkey Pup, all the other projects he was in. You can check out that episode on deadairhardcoreradio.com. That was almost like 2 months ago-ish. So I don't remember the exact episode number, but you can check. You can go to deadairhardcoreradio.com, go to the episode tab, and check it the fuck out. That'll be any episodes that are not already on Spotify for anyone who's like a new Spotify listener. Thank you. Also, thank you if you are a live radio listener. That's a fucking amazing. And thank you to all our live listeners all over the world and people who listen through all our radio syndicates. Hell yeah. So, Kings Never Die. This is featuring Vinny Stigma from Agnostic Front, and that always takes me back to the time that I actually got to talk to Vinny back in 2015 on the live radio show, and that was also used to be a part of our intro. And one thing I want to do is I want to fucking go on a mission across town to Auburn. I think it's like 30 minutes away from here, but I haven't been to the Auburn studio since like I think May, when they did the reunion, which was, I love you, JP. I love you. I'm just gonna say it real quick. I wanted more airtime, my man. I don't want to be greedy, but I was hyped on getting some airtime on the KGRG special for the 30-year anniversary of the station. I was hoping for more, but I still love you. But next time, let me talk more. Maybe for the 40-year anniversary, if Auburn doesn't like fucking fall into a sinkhole or get engulfed by the flames of hell, because there's some parts in Auburn that are horrible. But where was I going with this? Vinny Stigma. I'd love to get the interview. Hopefully, maybe find it, because it was amazing. It was an unexpected interview. I was talking a little bit with someone about it, and just like, I had no idea I was going to get to talk to him, and he just all of a sudden, he's like, Trevor! I'm like, how you doing, Vinny? He's like, good. And I was like, I felt like I was, like, through the phone, like I was giving him, like, a shoulder pat hug and, you know, asking him how his fucking family's been. It was beautiful. And the content that I got from that is, I love the interview, some of the interviews I do, but this was by far still the most memorable one. And I hope maybe I'll get a second chance at a Stigma interview, or I will get I'll get it. I'll try to get it again, man. I hope. Hope maybe I can recover the audio. I tried on the last show at the old station, but it with no luck. I looked for quite some time. If it's there, it's deep in those 30-year-old archives. Anyway, so check out Kings Never Die, Raise a Glass, featuring Vinny Stigma on Upstate Records. The single is, and it's going to have a video out very soon, within the week, I believe. It's probably going to be out by the time that you hear this. Also, they'll have an EP soon on Upstate as well. Support Upstate. If you listen to the show, you know that there's a lot of Upstate bands that get play, as well as interviewed on the show. So if you like heavy music, if you like a lot of New York hardcore influenced music, and a lot of members of past New York bands, you will like what you hear here. So check out Upstate Records. Moving on from that, so one thing I did forget to talk about is going to a show at Vera Project this past weekend. It was the Take Offense Higher Power Tour featuring Drain and Life's Question. And it was opened up by End of Days, which was it was dope. So we'll start from the beginning. End of Days, Northwest Hardcore, featuring members of a ton of hardcore bands. I can't even begin to go down the list off the top of my head. I would actually need to go write all that shit down. For like, the people in this band are people that I've seen in bands over the last 5 years. and some of them have been in so many bands. Some of them are currently in a ton of bands and have moved from band to band and have helped start and helped other bands thrive. Just they've been long time and long standing new musicians in the Pacific Northwest. So go to a show and check them out. Nate Walters fronts the band. You've seen him. If you've been in the Northwest, you've seen him. He's been on the show once or twice to really fuck it up. He's done his best to fuck with me on the show, which is expected. He's this is his first band, and over the past 6+ years, he's practiced doing vocals, and whether just for fun joke bands that have played joke shows, he's been on vocals for. I think some projects that never saw the light of day. He's done vocals for guest vocals for live and recorded for bands. I don't know how many. That's one thing I don't know off the top of my head. I know he's done vocals on projects that I have been a part of. And so I'm not surprised that they had a very good first show. They did very well, and I think everyone in the group was well prepared. And I know this was a project that I think switched a few members to make what it is right now. So if you like late 90s heavy and beatdown influenced New York hardcore, I think you'll enjoy this. It's no filler mosh music. Good stuff. And Nate talked a little bit about I think I forgot a lyric. It's it doesn't fucking matter, dude. It sounded good, and with the people in your band, they play so well. As long as you sing that fucking shit in time, no one's gonna notice because they're gonna be moshing. So, End of Days with a Z. Expect some music probably played on the show at some point this year. Moved on to Life's Question. We've played a track from them probably a few months back, I believe. They came here with Vatican in last August, and listened to the single, and I was very impressed from what they had. And this was another just kind of a slap in the face, being you need to listen to more of that fucking band, because it was super good and people were fucking feeling it. Cool to see what happens from them. Follow that, Drain. I'm just glad to see fucking Drain. Sammy is always fucking happy, no matter what he's doing, where he's playing. It's just cool to see the band keep progressing and getting more people into that band. More music's coming out this year. From what Sammy said, it's pretty fucking soon that there's going to be some new music. I think we're going to talk to Sammy sometime this year. And I think he said by that time, new music will already be out. So be on the lookout for new Drain. One thing that Chris from Change and the Seattle Hardcore Twitter said was nobody has more fun during a Drain set than the vocalist of Drain, and I agree. He has a fucking blast, and in turn, everybody has a blast. It's one of those things. I wish people saw it earlier when I booked them 2 years ago, and I've said that before, but I'm glad I'm fucking seeing it now. And moved on to Higher Power, who we're gonna play a song from. The first listen of this, and I think that's what's catching people off guard is, I think people are a little divided on the sound, even though I kind of already knew what to expect with the sound, that it was going to be, the vocals were going to get more and more clean. There were going to be more like progressive and Deftonesy stuff, and it's going to attract newer, different people. But I think it will divide hardcore people who were looking for more of the crossover thrash that the last record was about. And I still wish I could have saw him with Vane, because I'll see how it went. I know few of my friends, I think, didn't watch it. I didn't ask them why, and I do want to get their opinion, but I got to see the live set, and I was thoroughly impressed. Singer could catch it, could hold the tune, and that was one thing I was worried about when listening to it. There is with some of the record, some of the songs can get whinier than others with the vocals, and so, but I thought he could, for what they were doing, you gotta hold the tune, and I think some bands that go from like a hardcore or a crossover style band can get, like, the vocals sometimes can start sounding like shit. So I thought it was cool. I think it's also like weird. Like, it's hard to like know what to do when you're at a hardcore show and it's not super hardcore music, especially from a band who was playing like a hardcore style. Like, people started getting into it more and more. But I do want to know what my friends thought, because I know a few of them did take a step back, or took a step out of the show. Anyways, what was I read a tweet and I totally lost track. So we're gonna play a track from Higher Power, Lost in Static. That was the one I was talking about. It's some of this has grown on me. It's interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how much more influence and how bigger this band is going to get very soon, and whether they're going to literally, if they're going to move all the way out of hardcore or not. Because I definitely could see this working for other music. I saw specifically someone that I haven't seen in years and was interested and came for Higher Power because they're like, this band's gonna be huge. They're on Roadrunner, and a lot of people are like, I want to see them before they fucking blow up, and we'll see if they blow up. I'm not sure. So we're gonna play Lost in Static from the new record 27 Miles Underwater, which is now on Roadrunner Records, available now. Check them out. They might still be touring in your area. Look for tour dates. So, we'll be back. We're going to get to our interview with Jocko, HC, in just a minute.
Static fills the space between us, and our energy is there, but our energy gets wasted. And every time you come around, there's always blood in your mouth, and I'm left with the bad taste. I wanna spit you out and watch our world disconnect as you blast off in your spaceship. In your spaceship.
interested in having your band played or interviewed on the show, hit us up on our Facebook at facebook.com/Deadair Hardcore Radio.
Nebraska is kind of interesting just because it's like such a cattle, like whatever, it's like it's known for steak, it's known for like hunting and fishing, and it's like every restaurant here is like, potatoes and meat plates kind of thing. It's just now starting to like kind of meet the rest of the world and get some more kind of like foodie kind of shit. So that'll be my tidbit on food for this evening.
At this point, there's got to be somewhere in your area that Guy Fieri has visited.
Yeah, straight up. There's like two places in Omaha. One is this place called Cali Taco where they like fry the tortilla, and it's kind of like when you go to Taco Bell and get like a, oh man, what am I even trying to say? A chalupa? Chalupa. Yeah, it's kind of like, like chalupa has like the fried.
Did you almost say galupa?
Yeah, I straight up almost said galupa.
That makes me think of calling someone like a Goomba.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but I hear it. Galupa. It kind of sounds like a Super Mario like character somehow, like a Goomba or something.
Yeah.
Or what's the? Is that the same thing? Is that what you said?
Yeah, a Goomba.
Oh, Goomba.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called from Super Mario?
Oh God! Now I have to now I have to search it.
Yeah, funny. I don't know, but yeah, it's kind of like a chalupa. So it's like a taco and like a fried tortilla, not like a corn tortilla. And it's like they got his face on the wall straight up. Like they're like so proud that he was there. And I think there's like one other place. But what is sick is there's one restaurant in North Omaha that if anyone that like watches movies or knows Alexander Payne, the director, is from Omaha. And so he loves trying to like film his movies there, or at least have like cameos and stuff in Nebraska. And in About Schmidt, there's a scene where they're eating at this diner, Harold's Diner. And there's a booth with a plaque. Like one of the booths in Harold's Diner has a little plaque that says like the booth, Jack Nicholson ate in About Schmidt. So it's kind of sick to be able to like stare at that plaque, even though it's not that crazy. But
well, I know, like I feel like that's like a trademark for all of his shit. Like there's a vegan place in Portland, that has like a big like photo of him. So that's like a thing. Like they want to make sure that everybody knows that that guy has graced his presence upon this restaurant with his bleached tips,
flame shirt. What's he drive? A Corvette? Is that what it is?
Something like that. I mean,
he's got like a name for it. I can't think of what it is.
I wouldn't use the word drive since it's like literally just him on a fake like set, like and it just roll and the thing just rolls off. But I mean, that's his trademark car. Yeah.
I think it's like he has one, and it's like he like refers to it in some way. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not watching enough. What's the diver drives and dives, drive-ins, and whatever. I don't know shit.
Triple D, my man, Triple D.
There it is. We'll just say that. Right. If it's not obvious by now, I don't watch a lot of TV, so I feel like I'm very like when I try to make references. Sometimes I like try to make these references to pop culture, and they just fall flat. It's like I don't even know how to say chalupa. I mean, it's pretty funny.
I mean, I've been like I used to be out of the house so much like that it was hard for me to like catch up with the other like podcast radio shows who are like do everything at every minute of every day, and then I'm just like I felt it's easy with this shit to feel really uninformed just on like just the littlest things. But let's talk about music because that's what the fuck we're doing here.
Cool.
So,
right on.
Jocko, tell us a little bit about the band. Give us a little bit of a backstory of just how.
So it's actually kind of cool. We've all lived in Nebraska forever. There used to be this really cool house in Lincoln, Nebraska, and like a lot of older dudes will know it. It's called Ghost House, and it's like one of my fondest memories at that house was watching a show that was like, I want to say it was like a tour that was like Coke Bust and someone else, but then it met up with a tour, or maybe back then it might have been the same tour, but I think it was two different tours. It was like Coke Bucks, but then it was also this band P.S. Eliot and Hop Along. So it's like really sick, like kind of like poppy, like Brooklyn sound, like DIY band, and then it was like hard ass, like punk hardcore. And it's like that's how that house always was back in the day, because it's like there wasn't a lot of bands like from here doing a lot, or Nebraska in general. There was like a couple ones that really stood out. But it's so when tours would come through, we would just like, it was always this like kind of weird, diverse, mixed bill. But all of us in the band have kind of known each other for a long time. And it's like sad to think that we're kind of like the older dudes here, which like we're just like in our mid to late 20s. But there's not a lot of people in the scene. They either move away. Like some of our friends played in that band Bent Life and they moved to Richmond, or one of them moved to New York. He plays in a band, Bib, that's like from here. That's like super sick. Most people know them. But yeah, we've all known each other for a long time, and we all used to like play in bands, like and stuff, and all except for our vocalist, Jacob, and he's always been like an MC. Like he was in a different crowd, and he was living in Lincoln forever, and he lives in Omaha now, but. Growing up, he was always like, he had a couple different groups that he was in where he was always rapping, and it was all very kind of like, always had this like kind of like 90s flowy, like b-boy style to it that was always really cool. But I remember there was like a show where the first time I ever saw him perform was at this ghost house spot, and I can't remember who the touring band was. Like somehow it was like Backtrack's first tour, and like what would that have been, like 2008 or 2009 or something.
That would be that would be about that time.
Like maybe I think it was that show, or maybe it was like one of their second tours. But either way, they were still pretty small then. And I remember like a friend of ours band that was called Vandal Eyes, like eyes, which he thought was funny because he was a graffiti writer, right? So they were they were like
yes.
Right, clever, right? So it was like their first show, I think, and they were kind of like a, I don't know, mad ball, but the homie was not his vocals were not strong. I mean, that band didn't last, which is a shame because they were fun. We all just kind of were ignorant to it, but I just remember that was like their first show, and they was opening for Backtrack, I think, and I want to say Jacob, who's in Jocko, he opened up the show by like rapping, like he like brought like his like disc like Walkman and like had like a CD with his like beats on it, and we like just plugged it in over the PA, and none of us really knew him that well then, except for one of the dudes in Vandalize, and he kind of put him on. So it was like cool to see, none of us had ever seen like that like didn't even enter my brain, like a DIY rap show before that, because I was just like, I don't know how that shit works. So just like watching him like plug in his like Walkman and like hit play on a CD and just start kind of like spitting over the mic was like super sick. It was definitely like a hard energy, because none of us were used to that. But anyway, Jacob's been around ever since. I mean, he's always just been down. He's not. You want to talk to him, he might not be able to school you on like 80s hardcore, but he's always been down to support like any homies hardcore bands that come through, and he's got specific tastes in hardcore too, which is cool. So he's like around more than most people I know that like hardcore. So we used to live together and just always been close. And I remember there was one time, this was like a couple years, it would have been like 2016, and I wanted to start a band, and I was like talking, I kind of was getting some people lined up, like who's in the band now. We were all kind of talking like, yeah, it'd be cool, like homie that plays bass in other bands wants to play guitar in this, and I hadn't really been playing drums a lot, and so I was like, it'd be cool to play drums for a hardcore band. So we kind of had all the instruments lined up and no vocalist. And then I remember running into Jacob randomly at some big show at like the Slowdown venue here, which is like the Saddle Creek venue. And then I was like talking to him and just like kind of like catching up. And I kind of told him what I was up to. And I just said like, yeah, what have you been up to? Like, I know, are you working on some projects or whatever? Because he was in some MC groups at that time. And he was like, yeah, but you know what I really want to do? Like, I've always wanted to like front a hardcore band like you guys always do. And I was like, buddy, I got the job for you. So when we first started the band, I mean, if people go back and listen to our demo, it's like straight up like kind of punk, like almost like a, I don't know, like there's elements of like Frantics or Void or like some kind of weird different eras of like just straightforward punk. But then I feel like our transition into writing what we're writing now came from, I finally started hearing what Jacob was doing over the songs. And I was like, yo, he might be like more aggressive with his vocals, but he's still kind of just rapping. And it's sick. And so I was like, well, we should just like, we just kind of started playing to those strengths and just like naturally started writing like a little more groovier songs to kind of help accent like his kind of just very naturally flowy vocals and things. So it's kind of cool because it was like this very natural progression where, you know, you see like hardcore and hip hop to me always have like such similar roots and stylings for sure. And you see a lot of hardcore bands where the vocalist, like someone was like, oh yeah, that dude's rapping. And it's like, that's cool. But it's like, there's something so sick and different and such a fresh perspective from like this dude like only knows rap. Like him coming into a hardcore band, it's like he wasn't doing stuff that like hardcore vocalists would do because he doesn't know what that is. So it was such a cool, it was just crazy, like humbling experience. So it's been so fun. It's been so fun like creating these songs with him and Joey, the guitarist, and Ben, the bassist. But and then we just added a second guitar recently, our friend Wyatt, to kind of beef up the sound. But it's just been crazy. I mean, it's like writing with an actual MC is so cool.
Yeah, I think it's interesting having the actual two worlds collide because it's like obviously you know the history of all the bands, all the collaborations between MCs
right.
and metal bands and punk bands. But
right. Yeah, the same Judgment Night.
Yeah, the whole Judgment Night soundtrack, like it's very interesting because like a lot of bands and artists are aware of each other, but it's not too often when you actually step into each other's actual world. Sometimes you'll collab a little bit, but what sure. You're doing is like he's fully emerging himself into like punk and hardcore, and like a lot of like New York style hardcore bands like listen to like, oh man, they might listen to like ODB or a Wu-Tang record here or there, but mainly they're being influenced by other New York style hardcore bands.
Yeah, straight up.
And one band that you probably don't take direct keys for, but the only other band that I can see in like that has that vibe that you guys are putting up is a band called Product of Waste. It's
yeah.
One of my favorite bands ever. And if you've seen the dude, hear the lyrics, he does the exact same thing. Not saying that you guys are copying or anything, but the vocalist has his own like hip hop stuff, which, in my opinion, and rest in peace to the vocalist. He passed away in 2013.
Yep. Moment of silence for that.
But I think the energy that he put into hardcore was amazing. I listened to some of the like hip hop stuff. It's all right, but like as far as what he did with hardcore, specifically in that time, no other band was doing that. Like their records of like between like 2008 and 2011, there's not a band doing what they're doing, and there's not too many bands doing what like exactly what you're doing. Like you said, there's plenty of bands right. that rap, but not like. Also, sometimes it can be corny, man. Like having someone just like, I want to rap, but they don't know really the roots of hip hop or roots of either. They just see somebody rap and be like, hey, I want to do that, and it can be like some fucking Vanilla Ice. What, dude? Oh yeah, Vanilla Ice. Did you ever hear Vanilla Ice like new metal shit? That stuff is the cringiest.
Sounds sick.
That's just like that, and then I'm just thinking of really cringy shit right now, like Sugar Ray and his new metal.
So what's funny is like someone kind of recently, like a homie, I kind of think it was a friend of ours, compared us to whatever that first Sugar Ray album is. And it's funny because like I like love what is it, 11:59 or whatever that like the hit album was with like Sunday Morning and all those songs. Like that album, like from front to back, there's like a song that has like KRS-One on it. Like it's like a good album. Like the pop songs are incredible. The other stuff has good vibes. Anyway, but I had never listened to their first album because it's like, I haven't revisited that since I was, in middle school. But a friend of ours like recently was like, "Yo, you sound like early Sugar Ray," and I looked it up and like musically maybe kinda, it's like heavy and he's like rapping, but it's like so bad, dude. Like straight up like lyrically, and it's just because like, yeah, Mark McGrath is like a punk, right? Kinda. So it's like he's writing all this like juvenile shit. It's like all the lyrics are just whack and the vibe is like kind of whack, and I'm glad he went a different direction, and that's probably by the help with the producer, right?
Yeah.
But no, the product of waste thing is funny because that's one we've heard before. They used to come and play. I swear they've played like our neck of the woods a couple different times before Terry passed, and when we released our album through Dog Years, I remember Carlos from Rotting Out like tweeting something or posting something saying like yo, if you like Product of Waste, check them out. And I was like, I never made that connection before. And I remember like reading that and being like, whoa, that's crazy. Cause it is, it's like so unintentional, but it's like, I remember Product of Waste and they were sick and we all liked them. And it's like so funny. It is kind of similar in in just a natural way. Cause it's just like, he was like a rapper and like I remember him like after their show was over, he was just like, yo, does anyone want to hear me rap or whatever? And so he just like rapped over the microphone for like, had his own beats and stuff, and it was like a separate thing from the show. He wasn't trying to push it on, right? But you could tell he was still very passionate about his like other art or whatever.
Yeah, like it's because like when you could hear distinctly when he was going hard on a Fast Ripper song, and he wasn't as like rhythmic with his vocals, and he was just like trying to get it as fast as possible. And then you'd have a song where he's straight up fucking rapping over the beat. That's kind of what you guys are doing with the vocals, and it's obvious as far as like there's like the direct like specifically just because of his voice inflection. It's the Zach De La Rocha like vocals are the most obvious. Like, not that he's it's just because that's just how he sounds, man.
Right.
It's
straight. It's so funny. There's something weird where when people meet Jacob, they're like, "Oh, are you from New York or something?" Because like the way that he talks is like inflection. It's like homie's from Lincoln, Nebraska. It's like I don't know if it's just with him growing up so involved in hip hop, but it's so funny because he'll like. He just has this natural inflection, and it is. We get that, Zach De La Rocha comparison a lot, and I don't know, dude. It's like Rage rips, Inside Out rips. It's like I don't really take that in a negative way. It's just like I think that's like an easy jump. Like someone will tell us we sound like Limp Bizkit because we got to rap, and I'm like, homie, we playing standard tuning. Like I don't know what you think sounds like Limp Bizkit, but people just like some of those other ones, where like your just brain has nowhere else to go, right? Like no one knows anything. Like they don't know. Like, whereas someone might say Product of Waste because they'll, like, remember that, and that's sick, right? But other people's scope is smaller, so they're like, yo, you sound like Limp Bizkit.
You sound like Linkin Park.
Right. Someone made a joke. Yeah, damn, dude, it goes on. And, that's just going to happen. It's like we're playing something kind of different, and which I'm stoked on. It's, like, so fun. But it's like when you're doing something like that, it's going to catch a little bit of wave, so we're not sweating it. It's all fun.
No, I like it, and I think. Do you think some of it, like, so? I guess backtracking a little bit, talk about the record. Mm-hmm. You guys put out the. Did you guys put out the record before you went on Dog Years? Because I thought it was out prior to being on the label.
Yep.
Okay.
No, you're right. So we digitally released it, and it was kind of more of like a purge. It's like we had been playing those songs for a little bit, like not super long, but we had them all recording, and the recording process was crazy. Like we recorded at Make Believe Studios in Omaha, and it was such an interesting experience, but we kind of drew it out. Like it took a long time, and there was some shuffling of hands, and it's like, it just ended up being a kind of a mess. So we were just like, yo, we got to get these out because we've got like more we want to do. It's like if we keep sitting on this is still like we have to keep playing these songs for longer. So we were like, let's put them out, and then we caught a little bit of support, which was cool. Like people like positively reacted to it all, and then we got asked to play LDB Fest that year, and then just from LDB. So even to get ahead of myself, it's like before all that too. It's like we were Chris from Dog Years. He was like kind of hitting us up, being like, "Yo, like telling me a little about what he does." And most of what he was doing at the times was like tapes or 7-inches, kind of like little more like chill type releases. And so I was like, "Yeah, tape would be cool," but our homie Ralph that runs Not Normal Tapes out of Chicago, which is like a super sick like punk label, and he's calling it quits, I think, but he's done some of the sickest releases of like Midwest punk, and then he released so he released it on tape for us. So we're like, hey, we already have someone lined up to do a tape release, but if you want to do a record, like we want to do this on vinyl, like if we just so that's kind of where we were at. And he was kind of like, I don't know, it's like that's a huge investment, and I didn't blame him at all. I was like, dude, I get it. It's like, why we're not like we're jumping on it, right? We like love the music and like are playing it, but that's for sure like an investment. So we played LDB Fest and had like a super positive response. Like everything was like really good then. And I think that was kind of like the tipping point where he was kind of like, you know what, like this has legs. Like let's just do it. So I think we're his first, like the first 12-inch record he's pressed is our record, which is humbling. Like it's been cool working with him because he's such a ride or die. It's like he's such a positive light.
No, that's really cool. I'm, well, shout out to Dog Years, because
shout out Dog Years.
That's a big reason I even know. I don't know if I would have known you existed without the help of Dog Years, just because of the where you are in the country. I mean, unless you started touring, like, because like I think one thing I know for sure is once you got to a coast, I think you would immediately have even more legs with your sound. Just it, because you already know. I don't even need to tell you how, like, obviously, like how hard it is. You've already explained it to get something out, being where you live in your area of the United States.
Yeah, Midwest is tough. It's a hurdle. It's like there's a lot of good bands out here, and there's a lot of incredible bands that have come from here. And there's also like these like crazy exceptions. You think about a band like Modern Life is War is from Marshalltown, Iowa. I mean, that's like literally in the middle of nowhere. And they're like one of the biggest bands in hardcore, we're working hard and we get out when we can. We did like a little bit of a like our first kind of East Coast run. And went out and played a couple dates out there. It wasn't like extensive, but just because it takes so long to get out there from where we're at. So it's like you kind of have to take 3 days just to get to the East Coast, and then 3 or 4 to get back home. So we haven't done like a giant tour or anything like that yet, but we're working on some new material, and hopefully with that we're gonna try to just like hit the ground running with that too. So
yeah, I'm excited to hear some new stuff from you guys, because now it's been almost it's been a year and a half since you. Yeah,
about a year and a half. I think you're right. I think it was since the album was released. Maybe not since like the digital was released, but since like the vinyl was pressed. I think it's been like, I think it was like September or something of 2018.
Yeah, that's about right, because like you guys have had it, but like I said, like pretty much when everybody started having ears on you guys, it was already like a couple months past, when you had something out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, true.
That's cool though. I'm always down. Like I said, like I was Product of Waste is one of my favorite bands. Like
cool.
Ever. And I love I love the style that you guys do, and it's not only like it's inconsistent in the best possible way, like with what's going on in the record. Like it is purposely inconsistent with just with the pace of the record and the different songs. Like, there's one, I forget which one. There's one that's like, it has a real like an Agent Orange type feel. What's that one? It's the one with the kind of like the singing.
Oh, so that one's crazy. Yeah, "Best of Me" is what that song. It's like this. I think it's the dude. I don't even know. I don't even listen to my own album. I guess, right? I think it's the second song on the album. "Best of Me." He kind of has this like. I joke that it's like a Rough Riders voice, but he doesn't think that's very funny. But it's kind of like this weird monotone singing that he does, and it's like a very kind of like Ramones tempo song.
Yeah, it has a real like I said, Agent Orange with a little bit of like some like slowed down like Dead Kennedys type stuff going on with it, but still with like your own flavor. But I was like, that one was the one that like threw me off because where it was placed in the record, like you had a bunch of like, you start out with that intro, and then you have all these songs with the dude rapping, and then it goes into that. I was like, the second listen for it was like where he was like, okay, because like when I heard that, so I was like, huh?
Yep. And that's kind of a lot of people. I think it's fun, like kind of like what you said. Maybe not purposely inconsistent, but like having these little like ebb and flow. Because I remember it was so because I never in our practice space and stuff. It's like I'm not really hearing before we recorded these songs. I wasn't really hearing what was happening. Really, it's like I might have a vibe of like his cadences or where he's at. But then I remember being in the studio and I remember like hearing him sing that song, and I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And I love that this is how he came at it. Because I was like, no one told him to sing. He just like kind of came in and he's like, yo, I want to sing this song this way. And I was like, dude, that's fucking sick. I was like, let's do it. Yeah, and I think that might be a one and done vibe. I don't know. He hasn't brought that voice back in a while. And new stuff we're writing, it's like he hasn't brought it back out. And maybe it'll make it come back. I don't know. I think it's fun. I think that shit's sick.
Come back. That's like that. The kind of transitions with like turnstile material, like that stuff's just fun.
Yeah, we're just having fun with it for sure. And so the album is cool, but it's also like I think we're working on like a new 7-inch that feels like a more kind of like concise vibe of like what we're trying to do, and then the songs are kind of written to be together, so I feel like they feel a little bit more intentional. Whereas like the album, like I really enjoy. The songs were ones that we worked really hard on, but it's also kind of more like it was one of those instances where it's like these are songs we have written, like a couple of songs we wrote at the end to all kind of have a similar vibe, but at the time it was very like these are what we have written, we should record them and put them on an album. So it was almost going forward we're kind of learning how to like we like have found our groove a little bit, and so we're still kind of doing some stuff that's like groovy, still gonna have some like these like faster punk parts, but I feel like we found our path a little bit tighter, where it's kind of like what you said, the inconsistencies are like fun, but sometimes it can like throw off the vibe if it's like too much of a jump.
For real. It's I imagine it would be pretty fucking fun live as far as I can tell.
What's funny here is so we've got a good following here in Omaha and Lincoln. But there's not a lot of like all the kids here that like hardcore kind of like keep to themselves. So like they'll come out for Terror's playing a show or like something bigger is happening. They'll all kind of come out of the woodwork and they'll be this big show with all these kids and like wearing like cloakroom hoodies and shit or something from like years and years ago, right? But our shows are sick because it's like the DIY like punk community here right now is very punk centric. But then even then, the people in it are still fairly new to it all. So they don't really know, like they're getting into all these different bands, new and old, and it's cool to see what they're into. And then their friends that are coming out and being a part of it, like no one knows what to do. It's like so crazy. Like if you were at our show in Omaha, like I booked a show for Regional Justice Center when they came through here. And so it was like us and them and a couple other bands. And the show went off. It was like crazy, like well attended, like super good vibe. But it's like straight up, everyone's like pogo moshing and like push pitting, and it's like you never would think like this is a hardcore show. Like no one just like, and there's a couple of dudes that like are picking up on like slam dancing and stuff and trying to like throw a little more style in, you know. But it's like so, it's such a, and it's the beauty of it all is like there's like no one's like mad about it. Like there's this little like push pit thing happening, but then someone over here is still trying to like creepy crawl, and like someone else is like throwing a spin kick for a minute, and it's like no one's like bummed on each other. And it's like growing up, if you weren't moshing a certain way, right, you'd get kind of like pushed out, or you'd be like, you know, someone would hit you or something. So it's just like, it's so crazy to see. Like at first I remember just being like, oh, these kids don't know what to do. And then I'm like, you know what? They get it better than all of us. They're like having the best time. But it's just, dude, it's so funny.
Okay, and I think that's what thought I was actually going to get at, because right before you just started talking, I was going to say something else, but I ended up just saying, oh, your shows probably are fun, because somebody like started laughing at the top of their fucking lungs somewhere in my apartment, and I got scared. And it was like,
whoa,
it was like fucking Joker laugh.
Like, damn, son. Right, keep that door locked.
Fuck. Yeah, anyways. God, now I lost my fucking train of
That's
thought
right.
just with that. Okay, yeah, so as far as a live set, let's say if I was your official hardcore choreographer, my what I would like to see is more fucking creepy crawlies. That's creepy crawlers. That's what you need. Creepy crawlers. You need stage dives.
Yep.
At a fest, you need beach balls.
Right.
That's what...
and maybe that's us someday. We're like kind of like on that verge where, you know, we could maybe flip the script and all of a sudden we're writing radio rock, right? Like we're on that weird edge. So beach ball isn't that far out of our future.
Yeah, but a beach ball at a punk show is fucking fun. Check out Power Rainfest at Rainfest 2016. Okay. Check that video out. It's actually on my website. On our website.
Okay, sick.
I'm not trying to plug my website right now, but
right. What's the URL? You want to spell it out for us?
No, I almost went axe to grind. Fuck.
Yeah. Right.
Deadair Hardcore Radio. And what are you gonna want to do? Spell it out.
There it is. Dank.
That dank link. But if you check out that thing, it's total fucking madness. They had confetti. They had fucking they had beach balls. They had inflatable surfboards. And
I think I remember this. I think I remember seeing this. That's old enough that I probably saw it years ago and just forgot.
It was about 4 years ago. It was the final Rainfest, which was in Seattle at Neumos, and instead of they headlined the last day because we wanted to have a local finish out the final Rainfest. There's a band from Bremerton who's just fucking they're insane.
You said Power, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember them. They used to come. They used to come here all the time. If I remember, they used to tour with. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe they didn't tour with Bent Life, but they were like homies.
They were on 6131 for a
yeah,
while.
That's what it is. And Alan was the drummer, right? If I remember,
I don't.
Because I think he's in Big Bite now. Incredible dude. I mean, super sick drummer.
It's very possible. Evan,
that band was sick.
The one of the guitar players from Odd Man Out was in that band.
Oh, cool.
So
I'll always remember watching Power. They would cover Narcolepsy by Third Eye Blind, or like a part of it, if I remember. Maybe I'm making this up, but I swear to God, I remember being like, "There's this venue that used to play Lincoln, because it's like at the time all the shows happened in Lincoln, not Omaha. But I remember like being at the show, and they covered like the intro of Narcolepsy, maybe not the whole song. And someone's gonna correct me on this, but I want to say it was Power, and they would cover the intro to Narcolepsy, and I thought that was like the coolest shit. Like I was so down for that.
That's not that I can't confirm or deny, but I can say for sure that's not far off. And from the stuff that they would do, like their last set was like a full on cover set. They opened up.
Wow.
They opened up with they did their own songs too, but they did
right.
They did CCR.
Sick.
And it was so fucking fun. Like, dude, it was like it's seriously like you got, like I said, it's on it's a Hate 5-6 video. It's the only Power one that there's.
Okay.
I'm sure it's one of the only Power videos on Hate 5-6. So check it out. So that's a vibe. That
cool.
But like, I think when I was watching your Hate 5-6 video, I was like, I need more creepy crawlies. But that first like part when he does his little vocal only intro, and then it kicks in. I can see I needed people getting low. That's as your official choreographer. This is what we need. This is what we're gonna need, man. I'm just letting you know.
What was funny is that show. So we didn't. That was like on our East Coast little tour that we did. That Hate 5-6 ended up being there filming. It's like I didn't even. The show was a pretty big show. I mean, there was a lot of people there, and it was at Ortlieb's. Is that how you say that? I think Ortlieb's is the bar, and I think I can't remember who. Whatever. I don't know. I'm like I don't know enough about it to really say, but I think like the dudes in like Nothing either like helped run it or found it, or they like use it as a practice space. I don't know. There was some kind of tie there, I thought. But anyway, so that show was there, and it was cool. It was like a very mixed that band Soul Glow played, and they're amazing. That band's so sick. And then some friends like Chemical Fix and a couple other bands. Or no. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, super super sick show. But then the energy was just weird. I remember just being like, there was a couple things that were funny because I think like Jacob might have like thanked a band or said stay around and watch someone next, and it was actually the band that played before us, or he said something where he kind of like fucked up, you know, and he like knew he did immediately, and he was like, shit, I fucked that up, like that wasn't the right thing, you know. And then I feel like I played a little sloppy because we were in that's in Philly, and the venue is like there's like a DIY like skate park up the street, and it was summer, so it was hot as shit, but I was like, yo, I want to go check out this DIY park. Like my homie told me it's like right up the street. And so I skated up there, and I just didn't drink enough water, right? So I'm like kind of playing a little bit rough at times, just 'cause I can tell I've just burnt myself out for the day, like total rookie move. And we still like had a solid sound, and which I was pleasantly surprised by watching that video, because like, damn, it wasn't as bad as I felt it was. But the energy of that show was just so bizarre because it was kind of a mixed bill with hardcore and punk, which can either be super sick, or if it's like not homies, it's actually just kind of weird. And then the bar was in kind of a gentrified area. So long story short, I just feel like all of our shows, like our Boston show was super sick. The Richmond show, we got a good response, but like Philly, for some reason, that like no one was really like moshing or felt super into it. It was like super mean mug. And so I was like, of course that's the show Hate 5-6 is at to film. I was like, the whole time I'm just like, fuck, I can't watch that. Like that show, like I don't think anyone even liked us. So it's just funny, dude. And it ended up being sick. And then actually him like posting it like was cool, because like we, you know, gained a little bit of following from that and a little bit of buzz, and he likes our band, and he's such a good dude. Like always watching him like plug so many bands of so many different kind of genres of hardcore. So I was like humbled that he like filmed our set, but I was blown away that I was like, of course it's that one.
Yeah, I'm so thankful for Sonny in some ways. With I'm one of my only ones that I performed in for a Hate 5-6 video. I was awkward because my guitarist was like my dad who's like super Mormon, is going to be at this show.
Whoa.
So you have our guitarist was Mormon, but he wasn't like he was not like strict or anything. But his dad was like super Mormon, so he's like, my whole family's going to show up. So you have to not cuss, have to be on your best behavior. So I was like super awkward, man. Like I was
holy shit.
I was trying to keep it together because I was like, I don't want, like, I've had things in the past where I did something stupid and then it'd be like, and I mean, like, I'm in my 20s, but my best friend's mom won't let him see me.
Yep.
Because of something I said on stage. Like,
that's so funny.
The whole time I was like, I remember I was like, holy crap.
Yep.
I was like,
right, doing that censored thing's funny.
Dude, well, and then there was another one where God's Hate did a cover of Hatebreed, and I remember it's one of my favorite fucking Hatebreed songs, and I went super hard, and I like saw somebody who took side video, and I saw it, I was like, oh my god, I look so stupid. I think as moshing, I yelled an audible fuck.
Yep.
And I was like,
that's sick.
But Sonny cut it out. He cut it out of the set, and I was like, thank you.
Right, like he gets it, man. He's been doing it for so long. He has to know, like, oh man, that person doesn't want to see them doing that. Like, let's just remove that altogether.
I'm just like, thanks for making me look okay.
So sick.
Because like I've done some stage dives where I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, and then I see it on video and I'm like, oh man, that looks rough.
Right, you better not. That's like the classic thing though. Like no one, like, dude, I'm not gonna want to listen to this and hear my voice, right? Or like so many people like don't want to watch their videos or listen to their music or whatever. And it's like there's like this weird feeling you get as a self, like, you know, that's not an experience you get. So when you get it, it's so unnerving. You're like, oh, that's what I look like. Oh, that's what I sound like. I don't know how people do it.
Yeah, no, like, well, because Sonny has such good quality too. Like my mom took a video, and I was like she took a video of the set, like of one time when she came to the show, and I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's pretty good, but it was like kind of gargled quality, and
right.
So that through that lens, it looked really good, and then I was like, oh man, when I got Hey 5-6, it's like, oh, I kind of like my mom's more.
Right, so funny.
So, but fuck yeah, and thank you for taking some time to talk to us.
Oh, for sure.
Excited to hear some new shit from you guys.
Yeah, we should have. I'll do a little plug of my own, I guess. Unasked, I suppose, but let me double check the date so I don't say it wrong. But Dog Years is doing another. He calls them the Underdog compilation.
Yeah, they have a. He's already said that there's going to be something out. I don't know who's all on it, but
the list is good. He like linked me the list, and I won't spill the beans, right? But there's a couple. There's like people kind of from all over, and in various like little cliques, but stuff that'll drop all kind of people to it. I think is not like big names, but names that are like very relevant right now that are doing some cool stuff and on the up. So it's a good looking list, and I'm stoked to be a part of it. And we're gonna be putting a new song on it, which I don't think he's announced that yet. So you're getting the buzz there, but yeah, stoked. I mean, I think that's out March 31st. Did I read that right? Don't want to say it wrong, man. Last thing I want to do is
I'm not on your side of. I don't know. Sometimes I can barely read myself, so.
Well, it's, I wasn't planning on doing a plug, and then it came so naturally, right? So I don't have my cue card up. Where's this fool's page at? I know it's March because that's when he's announcing some more bands and stuff.
It's okay. For anybody who listens to the show, they know. They know I do. I literally do the same exact thing. I try to keep as many like Bandcamp tabs and stuff on my tab while I'm doing the show to make sure I have all the information. But every once in a while, I'll accidentally like click out of it. So like I'm scrambling. Like this band was, oh fuck.
Yeah. Okay, no, I was right. It was. It's March 31st. So, no, March 31st, Underdogs 3 is going to come out. We'll have a song on it. I think he's announcing more stuff as the month goes on, just to kind of help build it up. So, it should be cool.
Second one was really good. The last one was really good. Had some really cool shit on it. I'm pumped that because I remember there was a lot of radio silence from them for a while up until Dog Years 2. So it's cool that they've been keeping the momentum up from that compilation till now, and that's been like almost it's been over a year now since the last compilation.
It has been for sure, yeah.
So.
No, but it's cool. You're right. It's cool to see him so active, and it's so interesting to me. He's just such a genuine dude. Chris and Dylan that both run their label, and because it's like they're like grabbing people from like local regions, stuff from the South, stuff from all over, man. It's like when I'm looking at the stuff he's doing, I'm like that's rad. I'm stoked that they're putting it out there. But yeah, there's some really good bands on it, like Time and Pressure is such a sick band. I mean, there's like some cool stuff that he's been putting out, like Gum, I think is putting out some new stuff soon, and yeah, super fun shit.
Well, and I think that's the point. You want to continue to find stuff and push stuff that nobody else is pushing. Like, especially with, there's so many, like, I could push the same, like, 10 or so bands or that the other radio shows or podcasts are doing, but why would I want to do that when there's bands like you guys and all the other bands on Dog Years that are doing fucking great shit?
Yeah, it's cool. You're not wrong. It is. It's like, why echo the same shit, right? It's like everyone knows the Magnitude album bangs, and everyone knows all that. So it's like, give a little bit of a olive branch to some of us in lesser regions. And I'm not saying that, I didn't say it in a way to be rude, like you guys need it. Straight up. That's not. Yo, that's just the Midwest, straight up. Like, you know what? I don't hear it as rude. I'm like, where we're at, and I know like it takes a little extra push. Like, I'll take that olive branch, right? If someone wants to be like, yo, let me help push your shit, I'm like, please, let's do it. Dude, Midwest fucking bangs. All you dudes, like, I have the best time talking to people from the Midwest. Like, me and James from Time and Pressure last week just talked about fucking bread for bread and the Dewey Cox movie for like incredible 2 hours. Movie. Dude, that movie is amazing. It's funny. So, what, Time and Pressure, they're from St. Louis, right? Yeah. So you were talking about St. Louis Bread Co.? No, we were talking about. So we were talking about, so in our area, like versus the Northwest versus the Midwest. So when it snows maybe like half an inch, that like a road shut down. So it took me an extra like hour to get to the studio. To go, but like I felt bad making that excuse to someone in St. Louis, where I've been there, and I know like there's a few feet at least of snow there. Yeah, straight up. So I felt like an asshole, like saying like, man, there's some closures. It's gonna take me a little while to get here. And so we were just talking about how, like, the Northwest, I don't know how it is in your area for this, is just, like, in any situation, just, like, if they hear that there's a possibility of a slight windstorm, everyone in Seattle and Tacoma goes to the nearest store and buys up everything. Like, I live right next to a store, and the entire bread section was gone. It's bread, peanut butter, just like people are taking like multiple carts of bread, and like I'm just like, what are you guys gonna do with all that fucking bread? So we were talking about like how
how if there was a bread kingpin, somebody like in apocalyptic times, just buying up all the bread and being a fucking bread dealer.
Right, this is like Water World, only bread.
Yeah, except that shit's gonna get bad at some point. I don't know which bread has the longest shelf life.
Dude, it's got to be Wonder Bread for sure. That shit's like straight up dust. It's like cardboard, aerated, random shit. Like there ain't nothing natural in that.
I don't remember the last time I had some fucking Wonder Bread.
Yo, me neither, man. Different world. I used to, growing up, my homie's mom worked at a bread store, and I won't get into a whole thing about it. I'm from like middle of nowhere, Nebraska, right? So the town I grew up in, surrounded by cornfields, like kind of the cliche what people think of what they think of when they go like Midwest or Nebraska. They're like, oh yeah, cornfield, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's actually where I grew up.
Middle of fucking cornfield.
straight up. So my homie's dad was a farmer, and his mom worked at this bread store in the closest town, which was called Grand Island, which is like pretty, like it was like a big city for us, but it wasn't a city. I mean, they had like a skate park, sickest skate shop, and then the bread store his mom worked at was right across the street from the skate park. So it's like we would get up at like 6 a.m. with his mom and ride with her to work, because it's like a 20-minute drive into work, and then we would just literally skate at the skate park the whole shift she's at work, right? Like 8 hours. And then ride back home with her. But it's like that's all I would do is like bum bread off her, like pieces of Wonder Bread, or like try to get some like they'd sell like quarter snacks and stuff, or like like snowballs and all that kind of shit. So I'm just like eating. I can't think of the brand name, right? But whoever makes all that shit, not Hostess, but maybe something else. So like I'm just eating poison all day, like skating in fucking Nebraska summer, which is like 90 degrees and high humidity, and it's just like wet and sweaty, and so I've got this like I can't eat that, and I've been vegan for a long time too, I guess, to be fair, but like in my brain I'm like I've burnt myself out on like all shit bread.
I feel it. How hard is it to be vegan in Nebraska?
And like I was saying before, it's not super hard. I mean, we are known for like cattle. Like people come here from we've got a lot of like weird shit where I manage a retail, like a skate shop downtown. And so we get, during like the Berkshire Hathaway meetings, Warren Buffett's from here, and that's like his company. So people come to Omaha for like the shareholder meetings and stuff. And so they're always like coming in being like, yo, where can I get a steak? Like, where can I get a good steak at? And I'm like, straight up
everywhere.
I'm like, yo, everywhere, but also you're asking the wrong guy. Like I straight up couldn't even, like I've learned some like off the cuff ones, because I'm not trying to have that conversation, right? I'm like, I'm definitely not that dude to be like, well, actually I'm like vegan. Like I don't play that shit.
Dude, I hate that.
So I find I'm like, yo, go check this spot out. Like there's a couple spots that'll throw out, like Monarch is this rad spot, or 801 or these like spots, but I've never eaten at them. But I'll throw them a bone. Like I know they do good shit from what I hear, because I'm not like that pretentious. But
yeah,
there's some cool spots. One of my friends just opened. One of the main vegan restaurant, Modern Love. Issa, she's like famous for her cookbooks, right? She like did all the like post-punk kitchen was her thing, and then she moved to Nebraska and opened a restaurant. And now she's got one in Brooklyn, so that she's got like 2 Modern Love restaurants. And that place is like super sick, and she's so rad and supportive of the community. So like one of our friends, she kind of helped support him work on his shit over time, and he was doing like a vegan hot dog cart, and then that hot dog cart turned into like a little restaurant that's like a lunch restaurant, and then I think he might even be trying to do more with it. So as of right now, there's I think there's literally 3 like straight up all vegan restaurants in the whole state. And 2 of them are in Omaha, and one's Lincoln. But so I don't know. There's stuff out there, and like I think it's growing right now. Where there's
I mean, it's vegan, growing It's growing worldwide, so it's like not like hard to really do it anymore. Like
right.
Like even in my small town, like the vegan options are growing. Like every few months, there's something new, and all the main like places out here have some sort of option at this point.
Right. Well, the beauty of that is it's like the funny like plus side of this being so shitty is like food trends create such a demand, right? So like with veganism being so popular with like yuppie ass people, it's like only just been able to help us sustain the shit that we actually want to do and like want to live our life by, right? So we get like the way Omaha is set up is all of like West Omaha are like these rich people, because there's like weird statistics on it. Someone can Google this. I'm not going to, but there's like more Fortune 500 companies per capita in Omaha than any other city. So we have like so many, like there's like so much money in Omaha, but like none of it's ours. It's like all these like people that live out in West Omaha and have these like huge houses and shit. But anyway, so they all drive to downtown because either like that's where all the companies are at or that's where like the food is at. But like straight up, it's just crazy how many of those people are like coming in asking for vegan options and like that's like they like live by that shit, and it probably won't last forever for them, but like they got money and they want to burn it into veganism. I'm like, let's do it. Like come into these restaurants that I love and spend your money, and that's what's going to keep them open. Like that's sick.
Well, and it's also just helping just for like the smaller places. Like I live in like basically between like a bunch of hick ass towns, and out of this trend has birthed a vegan food truck from some people that are like one of the people, they moved from Ethiopia out here.
Oh, sick.
And their food is absolutely amazing. Like, and everybody loves it. And it's just cool because, there's going to be some capitalism and some bullshit with all these bigger chains buying into veganism, but it's giving birth to people like that getting to do their own independent like food trucks and companies, right? And bringing a company out to a town I would have never saw. I never would have thought that in my hick ass town of Puyallup, right next to the county fair, would be a dope ass food truck.
Sick. Is that county fair? Where are you at in the state? Are you pretty central?
Yeah, Puyallup is a town. So I work in Seattle, and it's about 45 to 50 minutes south of Seattle, and it's 20 minutes from Tacoma, and it's cool. It's about central western Washington.
So if like the state fair is happening, is that near you?
Yeah,
do they try to keep that central?
Yeah, that's the biggest. It's the biggest fair in. It's the second biggest fair on the West Coast. Like,
oh wow!
One of the biggest, like third to fifth biggest fair in the world.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So like we have.
So you guys get like Alice Cooper plays it or some shit.
Yeah, some like really randomly. I feel like every once in a while we'll get like a rock act, but like for the most part it's a lot of like Blake Shelton and country stuff. Like I'm trying to think of the last time I wanted to go to a fair show. It's like really, really rare. Like, Iggy Azalea played there one year, and she got booed off stage.
Whoa!
Straight up.
Damn, that is bad, man. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine you're like that successful and like I mean, dude, talented. I couldn't name you a song of hers right now, to be fair, but I can't imagine like being paid to play some gig and like all these hicks are booing you off stage. It's crazy.
I think, one year I like stood like in the back of the bleachers because I didn't want to pay. I was hoping to hear Kid Rock play Ba Wada Ba, but it never happened. So,
whoa.
So I just like, me and my friend thought we were really cool, like, because we were younger at that time. So I was just like, we just like flipped off the stage and left.
Sick. Dude, what a baller ass move for Kid Rock, right? Like, yo, I'm gonna play a concert and I'm gonna not play Ba with the Ba. Like, don't get me wrong, like,
that's back when his country career was at its like prime.
No way.
So, like, he did not play Ball with a Ball. I was like, who the fuck do you think you are?
Right, like how do we not all automatically think back to like Woodstock intro, like, you know, with the fuck, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, like what is that, 99 Woodstock?
Yeah.
This whole intro of like fuck is such a great word in the English language, like narrator and like band is just kicking it hard and him in his pimp suit coming out, like, and then it's like, oh cool, now you're gonna play some show like for your country fans and not play Ball with the Ball, man.
Yeah,
it's
what
like,
the hell? What the hell is your problem? Like, but I get it. Like, especially because like literally, it is like it's a country crowd out there.
Makes sense.
What I'm like, yeah, like I wanna hear. What's the other one? American Badass.
Dude, American Badass.
I want to hear him say that he's gonna fuck some hoes after he rocks this stage.
Yep. Dude, incredible song. And what isn't it a Metallica sample?
It's literally
like a current one that came out like the same year.
It was
his
a
song
rip
did.
of a Metallica song, but you can hear that they messed with the drums and they put fake drums.
Yeah.
And there's like a fake drum circle pit part.
Yep.
I was just like, this is incredible.
Yeah, it's redeeming because not only do you get totally blindsided by this like fake circle pit part, when it comes back in to the American Badass, it's like hard. It's sick.
Like, I was like, that's what I was like, this is what I came to hear. And I'm just like, I heard they had that one song it's a mix of a Lynyrd Skynyrd song and a bunch of like 3 or 4 other songs like of that same caliber into one, and it was so bad.
Yep. It's growing up, obviously Kid Rock, huge deal, big name, blah blah blah. Homies would always put it on at parties, ironically or non-ironically. But like personally, because of my love and adoration for David Spade's character and Joe Dirt, I've always like, even though I know it's like an acting thing, but lo and behold, Kid Rock sucks now, right, politically. But I like couldn't handle him in that movie being like the antagonist to like wonderful Joe Dirt, you know. I'm like, so like in my head, he's always just been this dick. Like every time I see Kid Rock, it's like that's who he is to me. I'm like, you're Robbie, like throwing gravel at my boy, you know, Joe Dirt. So there's that.
What is it? What is that fucking? Oh yeah, I was trying to make sure the two. There's gonna be 2 hits. You hitting the floor and Kid Rock's Ball with a Ball.
Yeah, that's a classic one
from Workaholics.
I think I've heard that.
I fucking see. I don't even care if it's ironic. It's like beautiful. It's beautiful irony. It's beautiful irony. Like it's
you just want to
best
we all
kind
need
of
that.
irony.
Yeah, we all need that little bit of like sugar. You know, it's like we all enjoy like free jazz or whatever wants to be like this like beautifully articulate thing, but once in a while you want American Badass. You know, it's
American Badass. You
want to check out, man, and just be like Neanderthal.
It's like American Badass is like the Room of music. Like you need it. It's the perfect fucking balance. It has everything. It has everything you want and need.
It's up there.
I might be making. That's my opinion. I'm sticking the fuck to it. Also, to end this interview, we talked. I want to just make sure that it's 100% fact that the little mushroom guys in Mario, that is a Goomba.
Okay. So, that's what I said, right?
Yes.
I'm not trying to rub no one wrong and like try to say some slang I didn't mean to, but yeah, that's what I said, some combination of Goomba. Because what was I? Oh, I was trying to say chalupa, and I said Galoomba.
Something like that.
Whatever.
Well, we used to call some dude we did, me and my friend, like he literally just looked like a fucking Goomba. He had no neck, little legs. It was like he deserved it. He was like a fucking asshole
Dang.
White dude N-word saying.
Whoa.
Like, yeah, no, he was a piece of shit. He was a big piece of shit. And he was a very self-aware piece of shit too. So we would literally just call him a Goomba. Like, and he just wouldn't give a shit. Like, but he looked like he tried. It was just like, he's like that dude who tried to make fun of everybody, like make really just the worst insults that were not funny and usually somewhat racist or offensive. So like everyone just gave him shit until he finally quit. And I think actually he was about to quit, but he got fired anyway. So fuck the Goomba.
Right, fuck the Goomba.
So anything else you would like to say about Jocko HC before we close out?
Dang, I think we pretty much covered it. We got a little bit, like we'll have a new song coming out with this dog years comp, which will be sick. Working on getting a 7-inch out sometime soon. So hopefully 2020 is going to be a year for new music for us. And then, dude, that's like about it, All
right, cool. Anything else you want to say in closing? Man, we said it all, man. I guess we said it all. Kid Rock,
right, man.
Goomba.
Right. I seriously, somehow, our spectrum of conversation, I can't even imagine what we missed.
I try to keep it real broad, man.
Yep. But yeah, shout out Dog Years. Hit that comp in March. He's going to be announcing songs and stuff that are going to be on that, which is cool. And then, yeah, we're going to be trying to hit Jocko's trying to hit the West Coast in the spring, so keep your eyes open.
All right, let's do it. We'll play a couple songs from the last Jocko record, and then we'll get back to the show. You're listening to Deadair, 2 hours of hardcore radio.
Ask us how we're living. Your answer is all grimace. Ain't a damn thing funny. Jocko handling some business. Came to handle B.I.
what's up, you sorry motherfuckers? This is another Moshbot reminder to follow Deadair on Facebook at facebook.com/DeadairHardcoreRadio and both Instagram and Twitter at DeadairNWCZ. Do it before I crowd kill your entire fucking family while whining about people not supporting the scene enough.
Dude, I am hating myself right now. My brain will not let me complete fucking thoughts, and I just want to be done and go home and get this shit done. Good night. Fuck, I gotta finish. I got to fucking finish. Oh, I didn't get any fucking Coke from the fridge. It's so far away. But I gotta finish this, dude. Shout out to Cameron from Jocko for talking to me about random shit. Fucking Goombas, fucking falafels, chalupas. Talking over the shit we said in the last fucking episode of the show. Kid Rock, all that shit. Jocko is a fucking dope band. I'm excited to hear some more stuff that they have coming up. Shout out to you if you listened through to 2 hours of my incoherent fucking babbling. Hopefully you just went from song to interview and listened to the good parts of the interview, which is the interviewee, not the interviewer. So, shout out to you. You're a real fucking G. You're a real one. Shout out to everyone who fucking plays us on radio stations all over the globe. Shout out to our newer podcast listeners, people who follow us on the website, follow us on Spotify. It's always a work in progress for me as a one-person operation, and I really am fucking grateful because sometimes I shit on the show, and I try my best. This episode, I'm doing the best I fucking can, and that's not much right now. So thank you for listening. Music, let's talk about the music. Played 2 tracks from Jocko, No Money, No Problem, and Best of Me off their I'm losing steam off their Expression record. Yeah, my girlfriend wants me home, and I know she's not pumped because it's really late. So after the 2 Jocko tracks, we got Reality After Reality by Scowl from the Bay Area. They were here a couple weeks ago at just another gig. Played a Negative Approach cover. It's fucking good. It's fucking good hardcore. It was a good addition to our to the lineup for that fest. Bay Area and West Coast fucking power. After that, we played new music from Pummel off Atomic Action Records. They have a 4-song EP titled Air Power. We played Doomsday Clock. Dude, get that fucking not heavy but hardcore from Boston. So check out those tracks, man. They got some tracks. So let's see what I'm doing for time. I guess I got a couple minutes. So I guess that's that time I got to plug. If you didn't hear before, you're hearing it now. Social media. Follow us on Facebook.com/Deadair Hardcore Radio. We also have a Facebook group, Deadair Hardcore Radio, where you can discuss more things. I'll put more shit in there. I'm trying my best with the Twitter. Twitter and Instagram are both at Deadair NWCZ. You can also go to our website that has all that information, deadairhardcoreradio.com. Deadairhardcoreradio.com is the best source for just anything that I post as far as blog posts and new episodes. We have all episodes. Every episode that's not on Spotify is on deadairhardcoreradio.com. Also, we are on Spotify as well as, what's the other one? Anchor FM. I'm still working on getting on more. I think something fucked up, so I'm gonna have to call Anchor FM and ask him what the fuck's going on. But please follow us on Spotify and send us emails, send us feedback. Tell the stations that if you listen to us on a specific station, tell them that you like us. Any feedback is amazing. deadairnwcz@gmail.com. We really, really do appreciate it. So we're going to end it with some new music from Change. We played the first single off an upcoming LP they're going to have on React Records. And they're going to have some shows in the Northwest, I believe at the end of March. And I really like this this newer song. This might be my favorite one. It's the one that they played with the reggae part that they talked about, and I like the clean vocals on it. It's a good fucking track. It has like that traditional stuff that you would expect from members of Betrayed and Keep It Clear, and a lot of the traditional mid 2000s Northwest hardcore style. But it also, that the part with the clean vocals, That's and the clean vocals and the reggae part is just, it's slamming. I'm a big fan. Big ups to Change. Get ready for a killer LP on React Records. So that's all I have to say. I fucking did it. I gotta get the fuck out of here and get this episode out. I will see y'all next week.